morning, Saul. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Sheldon. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's a sunny day here in Trinidad. What about you?
It's here, it's a little bit cloudy, but we have good weather too. It's getting hotter. It's getting into May now, so May, June, July becomes very hot in Florida. So yeah,
Okay, no
it's
problem.
shifting.
So I wanted to touch base on something that we've seen happening here in Trinidad. So COVID-19 has created a drastic shift as it relates to Wi-Fi and the expectations of Wi-Fi in the
Hmm.
residents.
Yes.
And we've been talking about this in the office and with some colleagues a lot, right? Schools have shifted for kids. Organizations have gone into virtual learning. The enterprise has shifted. People are working from home a lot. So I know you and I could relate to the fact that understanding that those things have moved to the residence. So your home is now your school, your home is now your office. And
Yeah.
that has a huge implication on the Wi-Fi devices that are traditionally deployed by the providers in the home. Can you relate to this, and have you seen those issues in Florida and the wider region that you support?
Actually, I seen it. Of course, Sheldon, I seen it in Florida. I seen it in my own environment
Mhm.
thinking more from a personal perspective. But also he's seen it in the work environment when it comes to the company I work for, CommScope Ruckus Networks.
Mhm.
And beyond just the company, I've seen it also around the region. Let's touch CommScope first because I want to
Mhm.
kind of explain what I meant by that.
Mhm.
We're a large company. We have a lot of offices in different states, in different countries. And I probably would say that we're almost 100% when it comes to people who work from offices working from home because
Mhm.
the company decided to hear all the indications from the governments and from the health organizations that are behind making sure the citizens are protected and they're
Okay.
protecting employees. So out
Mhm.
of the need of protecting the employees, we receive guidelines from the company to heed the warnings, make sure that we're following the indications, and everybody pretty much is working from home. There's
Good.
exceptions like
Good.
people who work on warehouses, for example, or
Mhm.
some factories that need to
Mhm.
remain operational
Mhm.
with minimal amount of employees. They are doing what they need to do, taking care of themselves as well. So that's one point. When I talk and relate to this situation more from a perspective of our partners, like in
Mhm.
your case, right? And you're
Yeah.
actually working from home, right? Same
Correct.
as me. Our partners are keeping a very healthy amount of people that are dedicated to maintaining those links going on with their clients. And there's a lot of people from the
Yeah.
partner community and the integrators that are still connected to the office in some way. And a lot of
Correct.
it's what's happening is collaboration efforts, training sessions, reviews around portfolio, for example, training them on how to become more proficient positioning, let's say, our solutions. The other point is school. You mentioned school at the beginning of our conversation.
Mhm.
Um, Schools have shifted dramatically. In Florida, they're finishing the semester online. They're not going back to the classroom. University students are going through the same thing, and now I've seen a tendency of these universities embracing the idea of
Ah,
maintaining their
this is
offerings
good.
more on
This
the
is good.
online side. For example, in my own particular case, my daughter is an advanced degree student in a university in Tennessee, and
Mhm.
they already made the decision to finish the semester completely 100% online, including labs, including examinations, everything. And now there's talk that maybe next semester is going to be exactly the same. So
Yep.
this is
Yep.
a university that was not thinking about this 6 months ago. They were a traditional university where you go to classes, you go to labs, physically have to be present. Now there's becoming an online oriented offering. And then outside of our industry, of course, you
Mhm.
see the news. You see newscasters, people who are bringing us what's happening around the world and what's happening
Mhm.
with the pandemic, right? With this
Mhm.
particular situation. And you see them working from their living rooms. And
No,
then
that's
their
correct.
colleagues are also working from their houses. And then you see
Yeah.
they combine pictures. This person is in the kitchen, that person is in the living room. And they're doing what they normally would do on a television studio. So
Mhm.
it's not just the enterprise side, the IT companies, it's everywhere you look, you're seeing the same tendency. How about in your country?
Well, the funny thing is, so that we have shifted as well. And I use the word shifted, but I really want to use the word forced. And I say that respectfully because a lot of the
Yeah.
technology that's being used now has been around. But the pandemic now has created a situation where we have to think about the way we do things. So a
Yeah.
lot of this movement to virtual, to online and so on may have been a shift because some people would have been going in that direction anyway, but for the majority of people it may have been a shift that may have been forced
Yeah.
because it's the only alternative, and I see that as a positive thing. And
Yeah.
coupled with that, moving forward, I see it as the new normal. So
Yeah.
we have witnessed some. Even my daughter's school has transitioned to online learning now. Everybody's
Yeah.
trying to work it out. Our organization has been able to shut our doors since they first spoke about lockdown over a month ago, right?
Yeah.
You have companies that we support. Some have been able to transition properly, and some have not been able to. So we keep working with customers on a daily basis. And you even
Absolutely.
have scenarios, so where companies have outfitted their entire organization with laptops to facilitate work from home. But
Yeah.
on returning to their organization, they now have to look for technologies to securely connect all those laptops, where their
Yeah.
organization was traditionally a wired organization. So I see a lot happening because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I see some positive coming out of it because technology now will be used in a different vein. All right. So we too, locally in Trinidad and I would say Caribbean wide, we had to make changes and use the technology to move forward. I also want to touch on, Saul, especially with these guys in the residence, the newscasters, the students, even the teachers that are pushing content from home, and the knowledge workers who are now outside of the walls of their enterprise and inside of the walls of their houses now.
Yeah.
What can they expect? Because you and I know that the traditional Wi-Fi that has been deployed in their residence may not be equipped with, to deal with this increased traffic. And how do you think that we can help?
Well, let's talk about some facts here so we can understand what the environment looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a study that came out through some channels internally to Ruckus that in the last 5 years in the US, for example, working from home grew without this pandemic about
Mm-hmm.
44%.
Okay.
Uh, if it grew like that in the US, it was expected to grow worldwide. It only takes more time to catch up in several different areas geographically, right? So Latin
Mm-hmm.
America might be catching up to that tendency a year or 2 years after it's becoming
Mm-hmm.
a trend in the US. So that's a fact. We saw that the working from home uh, uh, methodology was going to come and it's going to become popular. The thing about
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, again, another fact is that it
Mm-hmm.
got accelerated. Now we were, like you said initially in your comment, we were forced to react to it
Mm-hmm.
and embrace it quicker than we were anticipating. Everybody around the globe.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a fact. The other thing that I consider a fact is we were not ready for it in terms of how we position ourselves within our homes with technology. Let's face it,
Agreed.
we tend to buy connectivity from an ISP. And the
Mm-hmm.
ISP, God bless them. They come to your home and they do great job
Yeah, they
servicing
do good
you
work.
as,
Yeah.
as a client. They come and they wire your home, right? They bring the fiber into your house, at least onto the outside premises,
Mm-hmm.
and then they copper wire inside of your home to give you the equipment that you might need. A router, a modem
Yeah.
that converts their services into
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of the matter is that Wi-Fi piece of equipment that is there, it's a home grade, less of a
Correct.
enterprise grade a piece of equipment. It's more for basic Wi-Fi connectivity needs. It's low capacity and it doesn't have a lot of the features from an enterprise security, enterprise managed service.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how you manage the resource to provide a good experience to the users. It lacks the capability of now growing with the pains. Well, now we find ourselves, instead of one person using the Wi-Fi in the home, five or
Yeah.
six people wanting to use the same equipment, the same capabilities and capacity that you have. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a contentious medium. You and I,
Yeah,
being
very
technical
much so.
people, know
Yeah.
That in the 2.4 band, for example, is very limited in bandwidth.
Very, very.
Most people who deploy Wi-Fi tend to deploy just one channel. The people from the ISP are going to come into your home and say, okay, I did a quick interference survey. I'm going to set your modem channel 4. It's
Yeah.
going to stay
Sounds
channel
good.
4 forever. You're only using one channel out of 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the enterprise access points don't work that way. They
No.
are allocating capacity across that band dynamically, so people have good experience. We can use SSIDs that are encrypted with WPA3 for the enterprise. We can tunnel back to the company using access into the intranet. You cannot do these things
No.
using a home grade Wi-Fi equipment.
And
Do you see it the same way?
I want to interject here. Sorry, Saul, and I just want to make sure we don't forget this point though. And to answer your question, we do see it the same way.
Oh,
And
okay.
we had a situation, up to about over a week or so ago, where we worked with somebody who we know to actually outfit their property with proper Wi-Fi because they were planning to move into different realms, education,
Yeah.
online teaching, and they are working from home themselves. So you have competing portfolios within the same residence, and every one of those portfolios have to be delivered, right? And
Yeah.
the traditional home Wi-Fi is not equipped. You're looking at situations where interference mitigation is not going to be handled properly, right?
Yeah. I
2.4
agree.
gigahertz band is not something that is equipped to do that. And you have situations where single band access points are deployed. So there's no ability to transition to a cleaner spectrum on the 5 gigahertz band, which is where we want everybody to transition to. Those
Yeah.
technologies are not included in all these Wi-Fi platforms. So a lot of the residents are actually working with equipment that is not up to speed, just cannot deliver.
Yeah.
So we are seeing the same thing here, and I think it's something that we really need to address.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, in many cases, ISP installed equipment, it's set up and forgotten. Unless the person who lives in the home is an IT person like you and I, we're going to figure out how to optimize that
Agreed.
Wi-Fi inside of the home. But let's say
Yeah.
that's maybe 2-3% of the population. Not everybody is a techie. Not everybody is going to be comfortable dealing with IP addresses, SSIDs, and interference. So
Correct.
the fact of the matter is, managed Wi-Fi for the enterprise has algorithms that do this for you on the background. When
Exactly.
you offer a managed service that is hosted by a company like yours, for example, or an ISP that would enter into offering hosted services with our solutions, they're going to make sure that that equipment is always operating at the best capacity they can offer and provide the best experience by implementing these managed services and the algorithms that come with it. And that's where I see the difference. Your company is very well suited and positioned to start creating the offerings that your clients would need in the home. It's kind of replicating enterprise level grade solutions for the residents. And I think
Correct.
there's a space there that needs to be a little bit thought about, but we need it now. We cannot start thinking and offer it next year. By next year, it's already late. We have to start reacting immediately.
Correct. 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 All right. I mean, it's something that we really want to keep speaking about over the next few weeks, and I really appreciate the support from CommScope and Ruckus.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've worked with you guys for a while, and we see the need, we see the transition from the enterprise Wi-Fi into the residence now, and I'm so happy that you guys have been seeing it as well. So
Yeah.
we will continue to push more content in this vein, Saul, and we really appreciate the time taken today just to bring that global perspective on what's happening. Thank you very much for the time,
Well, it's
and
been my
keep safe.
pleasure. Thank you for having me, and it's been my pleasure to be able to not only share what I've seen, but also learn from you and what's going on in Trinidad and the Caribbean, which is a territory I care. This is where basically we are dedicating our efforts. In my particular case, we have a lot of expectations once the pandemic gets under control, that we can go back into normal operations and do some very good things in the Caribbean.
Okay, good. Looking forward to it, guys. And again, we have some other upcoming events, so we'll be seeing more of you guys on team. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Have a great day.
So take care, man.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. Thank you.